Consider this your trigger warning. The following program is strictly satire and is not meant to be taken seriously. So don't get all butthurt, you liberal snowflakes, just because we skewer your sacred cows and expose all your lies and hypocrisy. Truth hurts, and so does satire. So grab a drink, pull up a chair, and enjoy the show.
All right, man. All righty. Here we are. Welcome back to Sunday Night Live on the Prepared Mind channel. You can be on the preparedmind.club on Sundays, subscribestar.com on Sundays, and YouTube on Sundays. All of us together live. That's why it is the zoo. Folks, it's not a golf course. It's not a rally. It's a zoo. So I should be safe from getting shot. Good golly. I tell you what, welcome back. First thing right off the bat, thumbs up. Share the internet address. We said last week, did we not? Some crazy, crazy shit is going to happen this weekend. And it has, and we're going to get to it. Oh, you bastards. You fucking bastards.
John's been having some camera problems before the show here, cutting in and out. So bear with us, and he'll log out and log back in and get back on as quickly as possible. He was back, and now he's gone again. Sorry for this, guys. There is something weird going on with StreamYard. I think he may have to do a full reboot because his... Oh, wait, there he is. There he is.
All right, Mr. Uman, thank you for stepping in. I really appreciate that. I think we're good. And
All
there's
right.
something going on with the internet again. Surprise, surprise. I want to talk about the latest assassination attempt on President Trump. Good golly, surprise. And it's already fraught with strange details, weird circumstances, and a lot of what the hell is going on around here. Now... Okay, so some jackass was shot. Apparently his name was Ryan Wesley Ruth. Some fruitcake guy who shows up wearing a bright pink shirt to shoot at Trump from just off the golf course. Luckily, he's a Democrat, in my opinion. Just taking a wild guess since he wore a bright pink shirt for a stealth assassination. And the fact that he missed. And he was probably less than 200 yards once again and apparently missed. Trump has not been hit. But again, a Democrat because they are lousy shots. They don't know what the hell they're doing. Thank God, bunch of fucking idiots. Anyways, yeah. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Unfucking believable.
We still have audio, John, but the the picture's just all fucked up.
Okay, good. I'm glad we have audio. I think I just said I reported it was unfucking believable. I think
Yes, you did.
Yeah. Why is my camera here? This is it's a strange one because I can see everything, but I don't have apparently a mouse and a cursor. Good golly. Uman, can you come back on screen, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, I as soon as I get control of my computer, I may not. This is the most bizarre fucking thing yet to happen. Not only did they kill the camera, but they froze my entire computer.
Okay.
I've got no control over any of it. So the question is, what do we do with this? Do I reboot?
Why don't you do a full reboot?
I'm going to do a full reboot and hope that clears it up. In the meantime, I'll be cussing and screaming. If you
All
want,
right.
you may regale everyone with details of what you think is going on and have some fun with it.
All right.
But here I am with zero control. Wow.
I'll just do a hard reboot.
Doing a hard reboot. I am
All
frozen.
right. I'll see
Okay.
if I could fill a few minutes here.
Okay.
Well, I was over at my son's house today and helping him get some stuff together. He just got into a new place. So I didn't hear anything about this until I was driving back here. And the first report I heard on news radio said that there were shots fired near Mar-a-Lago while Trump was playing golf. And they're reporting, and I guess continue to be reporting, that it was a couple of guys shooting at each other. And it had nothing to do with Trump, and that was all just a coincidence. Now, Secret Service has come out, and I believe the FBI has confirmed it, that the shots were actually being directed at Trump. So news radio is just flat out lying again. I just saw a picture. I put up a link a few minutes ago. It was posted on X by Andy Ngo. It was a picture of the guy, skinny jean wearing fruitcake looking guy in a pink shirt. They said he was 58 years old. And it was a picture of the guy being taken into custody. And I believe that Matt D told me that the guy's name was Ryan Wesley Ruth or Roth or something like that. So that's all I know about the situation at the moment. I don't know if there's anything else breaking that you guys have heard about. But if you have any new information, put it up in the chat, and I'll try to keep an eye on that while we wait for John to get back. And if you'd like, I could put the link back online here so that you guys can maybe go take a look at that and not have to look at my ugly face for the next minute or two. The link I'm putting up right now is the link to the picture being posted on X of the guy who allegedly took the shot, or who was being taken into custody under suspicion. So Dennis Fetterman is saying some idiot is allowed to squeeze off a couple of rounds around the president. I don't think this is a situation where he was necessarily allowed to do it, but it did happen, and it looks like they did take care of that situation pretty quickly. They got I did hear that afterwards they returned fire first, and then apparently there's like some kind of a speed cart that he has with him when he's playing golf, and it's some kind of a steel reinforced enclosed golf cart or something like that, and they rushed him into that and got him out of there. So that was a good thing. Now, it'd also be interesting to know, were those folks with him, were they Secret Service, or was that part of his private security detail? That would be another interesting fact to know. Oh, let's see. If you guys are complaining about ads, then what you need to do is you need to go to your app store and get a program called Ad Blocker. It's free, and it eliminates all the ads that are playing on YouTube all the time. There's the current version that I have. It's called Ad Blocker Pro. You will get a thing that says skip ad. You could skip it, and then you don't see another ad the rest of the video. So I highly encourage you guys all to go out and get one of those free ad blocker programs. And I see John is trying to reconnect here, and it looks like he's back.
And we're back yet again. Woo!
Okay, I was just saying, one of the things that I heard also was that Secret Service returned fire, and then they rushed them into what they call a speed cart that travels on the golf course with them, which is apparently some kind of a steel enclosed golf cart that they rushed them off in. And I also thought it was
Trump.
No, Trump.
Okay.
Yeah. And I said it'd be interesting to know, was that Secret Service that returned fire, or was that part of his private security detail?
That'd be nice to know. I'm sure the details will not be forthcoming.
Not anytime soon.
Why am I so close? Okay, let's hear it for Bill Gates, everybody. Everybody, let's hear it for Bill Gates. Just helping out. Goodness. What a fucking dickhead.
All right, I'll let you get back to it. I'm talked out.
Unbelievable. Okay. Let's see what we got here. I don't think I could get any closer to you. Oh, you're kidding me. You're just fucking killing me.
Well, that didn't last long, so we'll wait for him to pop out and pop back in a bit. I don't know if the best thing to do would be maybe to end this and start a new one. I don't know. We'll see if he, when he comes back, how long it holds up. I did see somebody at the beginning say that they're cutting out feeds on videos that are covering this topic. So I don't know.
I really feel like we're being jacked with, like something. I got a virus in the computer or something. I don't know how else this works.
Well, this has been particularly bad today. I mean, during the week,
we've had trouble.
One reboot usually does it. Somebody at the beginning of the chat was saying that people covering this topic are having their feeds cut, but we're not having our feed cut. I'm not having problems with mine.
I guess it's just at my end because it's my
channel. My camera hasn't been cutting out or nothing wrong with that, so I don't know.
Well, since it's my login, my location, Prepared Mind channel,
possibly
what's going on.
Possibly, I don't know.
Anyway,
let's give it back to you, and we'll see how long it lasts. Otherwise, it might not be a bad idea to start a new stream.
I don't know. Let's just go with this and fight through it. We got some great super chats, some great questions ready to come up. I want to get to what you guys are thinking about. I do. So let's do that. Let me roll back into it, man. You stay in the micro. I stay in the macro on the screen. And Darcy T checking in with a $50 super chat donation. If you guys want to talk, bring up your question, your topic, your thoughts, your predictions, your observations, whatever you've got. Super chat button right up there gets you on the screen right down here. Darcy T, $50 PayPal super chat. And she says, it looks like the mainstream media are highlighting all of the issues with the migrants. Eating cats, beating people, killing people, etc. School shootings are off the chain. And of course, the latest one with Trump being shot at again. It's clear that they are waiting for a flashpoint to start something. What are the odds that it'll occur prior to the election versus after? And salute and semper fi to you as well, Darcy. And after this rough startup, I think I'm going to take that $50 super chat. And they always buy a nice Glenlivet single malt scotch. Yes, indeed. I poured it a little too tall, Darcy. Thank you, my lady, for contributing in such a great topic. Woo! I tell you, that shot and a quarter, that'll do it to you. So here we are. Let's follow the question. What are the odds it'll occur, this flashpoint to start something, before or after the election? Well, Darcy, let's just say they need to win the election. Trump has massive support. He's gaining the minority populations, Hispanics, blacks, Asians. Chinese immigrants are out there with signs, T-shirts, hats, and pushing for Trump. These are people who left communist China because it's communist. We have Swifties. I think she's lost 1 in 5 of her little Swiftie fans over to Trump now. And even Trump has just come out and just attacked, Taylor Swift, the tart with no heart, the woman who's famous and made millions of dollars singing about picking the wrong man. Now she's picked the wrong woman. Anyways, here's the deal in my thought, Darcy. Are they going to do something before or after the election? Well, today, as you noted and everyone else has noted and talked about, and it's off the hook, today Trump was shot at for a second time before the election. If they can, in my opinion, get him off the ballot, and the only way they can do that, it is not going to be at the ballot box to win, right? Their dislike for him. In order to get him off the ballot, they need to kill him. They can't do it in the court system. It's going to have to be an assassination, and today was number 2. I'm going to make another prediction now. We're at 300 and people live right now. There's my counter up there, over 300 going up. Share the internet address, thumbs up, and guess what? There's going to be another Trump assassination attempt before November 5th. My prediction. Hey, why not go for a third? They have to get it doing. They have to start something. But what they want is now this is what all governments want. Trust me, the appearance of legitimacy. Kamala wants the appearance of legitimacy. She was an illegitimate candidate. Well, first she was an illegitimate vice president after the 2020 election. Then she became the illegitimate presidential candidate for this go-round. She was not voted for by the people. There was no democracy involved. It was the Democrat Party picking her because there isn't anyone better, and that is saying a lot about how much Democrats suck, how they don't have a platform. They don't have anything. They're for open border. They're for killing babies. They're for destroying the military. They're for cutting your children's genitals off. They're for destroying America. They're for destroying the Constitution. They're for destroying your wealth, our economy, our jobs, everything. Everything. In fact, they'll do and say anything to win. They'll absolutely do and say anything for the win. In fact, Kamala has gone and said, hey, I changed my mind again. I am for confiscating assault weapons, your guns. The most popular weapon in America is the AR-15 and its variants or duplicates or copies or clones or whatever you want to call them. It's the most popular weapon and she's after it. Now, actually, according to the law, the definition by law, the AR-15 and the AK-47 civilian models are not assault weapons. It doesn't matter if you have a 30-round magazine or a 300-round magazine. It doesn't matter whether you have a bayonet lug or a bayonet lug with a fucking bayonet on it. It doesn't matter. It's not an assault weapon. But she's all for that. And also this thing called mandatory gun buybacks. Mandatory gun buybacks. You know, what if I don't want to sell? See, it's gun confiscation with a small financial reward for turning yourself in. How would you like to turn in your AR-15 and they check the serial numbers and check you and go, you aren't the registered owner. How did you get this? Where did you get it? Did you buy it from the person? Was it stolen? We're going to have to arrest you and figure this out. You're out of your fucking mind if you think I'm going to hand in my guns and play some stupid games with a bunch of armed anti-American communist cops working for Kamala. I'm going to fuck her name up a bunch so someone accused me of being a racist. It ain't about race. It's about the Constitution. Okay, I'm telling you folks, here we go. It's lit. I spilled all kinds of shit on myself. Woo! Okay, now, Chin Music has checked in with his super chat donation, or at least he sent me a meme. It's a picture of the man who's dating Taylor Swift. Before Taylor Swift, he looked like a macho motherfucker. After dating Taylor Swift, looks like he was dressed by his third grade teacher, wearing a doof fucking hat from the 1970s, shaved his beard off, and he's got basically a 70s porn mustache. But, you know, she's worth it, right? That's arguable. Chin, thanks a lot, man. I thought that was going to be your question. All good stuff. Mr. Uman, where the hell are we at? I think Bill Gates mandated that my computer accept one of his updates. So let's hope that's all it took to keep us on here. Okay, it is Sunday Night Live. It is your show, folks. And crunch a bunch of candy. Says, eat our candy, not our pets. It's the world's best candy. $2 super chat. Thanks, Crunch a Bunch of Candy. That's his new name on here. He's been a Prepared Mind follower for a long time. Crunch a Bunch of Candy. If he's got a website, we can put it up there. I can't remember the other screen name he used to use, but thanks for the great support. And it is you guys that support this channel. Ooh, man.
That's Opie Waddell.
That's Obi-Wan Kenobi. Opie Waddell. Thank you, Mr. Opie.
I do have a website here. I can put that up real quick.
Yeah, go ahead and throw it up while I talk about the thing I want to talk about.
There's
a lot of shit I want to talk about. Okay, in Springfield, not the Simpsons Springfield. I saw you, man. Springfield, Ohio, the town where cats are disappearing and dogs are disappearing. Here's a question for you. I want you to think. Here's the question. If none of the questions at the debate between Trump and Kamala, if none of the questions were given and all their questions were prepared ahead of time, how did the moderators know to call the city of Springfield, Ohio, and fact check whether or not cats and dogs were being eaten ahead of the thing? They weren't going to ask about it, but Trump brought it up on his own, and immediately they fact-checked him. Oh, no, we called the city manager. Folks, city managers are typically lawyers, and they're fucking liars. And as it turned out, he was a liar. We don't have any credible reports. Let's see. Tax-paying citizens, pictures, video. That sounds credible to me. Anyways, how did ABC know to call ahead of time and check on that? Oh, wait a moment. We seem to have a problem here. You know what that is? The problem, folks. I'm fucking so mad at these fucking people. Is they reported, and it's now leaked, that the moderators were prepared to instantly fact check Trump on everything. And there was absolutely no plan, and this has been admitted by ABC, absolutely no plan to fact check Kamala. Did you know that? Did you know that? Right? It's crazy. But in Springfield, Ohio, there are bomb threats now and mandatory, or shall we say, recommended evacuations. The Venezuelans that live there, along with the Haitians, are beginning a street war. A gang war. It didn't take long, did it? They brought themselves up to the border. Biden let them in. Kamala flew them around the country. And I believe, if I heard correctly, the city council of Springfield, Ohio, just coincidentally happened to be down in Haiti a couple of months ago. Do you think they cut themselves a big fat fucking deal? Maybe a little bit of payola? Hey, yeah, we've got a town of 50,000 people. Why don't you send 40% more population from your fucked up country that practices voodoo religion and eats cats as a delicacy? Go ahead and send them up to Springfield. We'll take them. We can handle another 40% population explosion of people who don't know law, don't have any culture, no respect for other people, nothing in common whatsoever. I guess the Venezuelans, did someone tell the Venezuelans that Haitians taste like chickens? Is that what we got going on here? You sending the Venezuelans to eat the Haitians? I don't know, folks, but there's bomb threats that have nothing to do with Trump, me, you, nobody. But there could be gang war, street wars, civil war, if you wish. If they're trying to take over the town, that would be a small-scale civil war. Maybe an insurrection. Holy shit. Is it a partisan war? Or is it just plain old mad fucking Max? I hope you are prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and a plan. We're almost at 400 people live right now in the first half an hour. Folks, there's a lot going on. A lot going on. I told you this weekend was going to be a fucking mess. An absolute mess. Trump assassination attempt foiled. They sent another retard in. And it's because Kamala Harris has promoted political violence. Joe Biden has committed and promoted political violence. He committed, I think it's a crime, but Democrats, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Obama, Hillary Clinton, they're all promoting political violence. There's surrogates, all of these non-government organizations, political action committees, they're all dehumanizing Trump. He's Hitler. He's a Nazi. He's a white supremacist. He's a 34,000-time felon. I think Hillary Clinton's a 33,000 times felon because she actually did erase 33,000 government emails and then bleach bitted the program. That's illegal. It's a felony on every fucking count. But, you know, it's fine, says FBI director at that time, James Comey. Woo! Okay. I'm telling you, let's do this. Let's get to you guys. If you've got super chats, that button's right up there. I'll get you on the screen. We'll make you famous. What do you want to talk about? What's happened? Let's see it. Mr. Ooman, it's Dan Erickson. Dan the man. And he's back. By the way, Dan's a couple years older than me. $5 super chat donation. He says, well, after the Tuesday night show, I went to the bullion store yesterday and bought 100 ounces of silver. I think you're on to something. I tell you, folks. I did my show, what was it, the Thursday night, Tuesday night, whatever it was, when I did the gold and silver special. Thursday and Friday, gold is now popped to all-time new highs, and it has just begun, in my opinion. This is not investment advice. Cracked $2,600. There was no instant sell-off. If you guys follow how the market works with gold and silver, you hit any level like 2,500, 2,600. As soon as it breaks that, a bunch of people collect profits and run. They didn't this time. Silver has come back from being down below 28, up over 31 again. It's trying to make a run to its all-time highs, and it's going to hit there, folks. I really believe it. It's to me, and this has been popularized on the economic shows, it's going to happen. It is not imminent, meaning it's not going to happen any second that we know of, but it's going to have to happen. It has to, based on what's going on with the weak dollar and the BRICS nations, Russia, China, India, Brazil, and another couple dozen. They're moving away from using the dollar for international trade. So they're not buying U.S. Funding, which is called the bonds, T-bills, whatever. So it's coming. It's coming. It's just not imminent, but it's coming. I mean, with gold at all-time highs, last time it did this, folks, it hit its low, and then it shot up 8 times. Well, its low was, I think, 1,250 a few years ago, and it takes about 8 years for the bull market to get to a point where it goes straight up. And it only does that because there's economic problems, because the dollar goes straight down. Hundreds of economists are saying we've got massive inflation on our horizon, as if the 10 to 20% we've suffered and the 50 to 100% inflation we've suffered over the last 3.5 Kamala years isn't enough. They're saying inflation is going to get even worse. So if you can't afford gold and silver, folks, the food you have bought, your prepper food, water, shelter, clothing, yada, 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 the food you bought has gone up anywhere from 20 to 100%, maybe even more over the last several years. Tell me your preps, your food is not an investment vehicle, as well as a survival and an SHTF vehicle. We might be onto something, Dan. The best thing we can do is protect ourselves and get prepared. Thanks a million for the awesome support you always provide. Folks, there's a lot to talk about. What's on your mind? What do you want to discuss? It's your show. Let's do it. Ooh, man, who is up next at the 30-minute mark? It's Bioxo with a $4.99 super chat donation. He says, speaking of Haiti, fun fact, Paul Walker had a Haiti foundation and somehow his car exploded. But that's a conspiracy. Guess who else had a Haiti foundation? That's right, the Clintons and their foundation. They collected over $1 billion. And Haiti got how many of those dollars? The Clintons, they're special. Now, thank you, Bioxo, a bunch. I've got to get to this. I'm dying. I'm fucking dying to get to this one. Tucker Carlson took a huge bucket of pig shit and threw it right in Kamala's face. He took this bucket of pig shit and threw it all over the extreme radical leftist Democrats with this line. Are you ready? In Kansas City, Friday night, Tucker Carlson had something to say about Haitian immigrants eating people's pets, right? He pointed out that PETA is totally fraudulent because they have not endorsed Trump, who is the first candidate in American history to stand up against pet eating and pet sacrificing. That's right, they're sacrificing people's cats and dogs to their voodoo gods. Is there any part of that that sounds American? Do they sound remotely like they want to be American? They show up, they look around and go, hey, look at all these snacks running around. Let's catch them and kill them. And PETA, the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, has not responded to Springfield, Ohio, any of the reports, or to Kamala, or to Trump. But Trump is the only one who said, hey, right? Look out, folks. It is the wildness is going to get crazy. And I can say it's just begun. We've had 2 attempted assassinations with Trump, both of them involving weapons. Did you hear anything about Kamala? Has Kamala condemned assassinating Trump with an assault weapon? Did Kamala call President Trump and say, geez, I'm sorry someone shot at you. Why don't you join me in the anti-gun movement? Has Kamala said anything about this? Has she come out and said, it's deplorable. It's deplorable that someone is using political violence to try and assassinate a political candidate? Well, it is deplorable, folks, but I've got the deplorable coffee cup. I've got the deplorable shirt. And yes, I spilled food all over it. Deplorable. Cafefe.com. That's where you need to go to get your coffee. That is Patriot Brew right there. Cafefe.com. I had a cup of it before the show. I'm a little bit wound up. I've had a big old scotch, thanks to Darcy T. $50 super chat and more. Does what? Buys me a scotch and makes you extra famous. And here we go, folks. Here we go. We're at 400 people live. That's a great turnout. Share the internet address. Thumbs up. And if you want to comment, you've got to be a subscriber. So hit the subscribe button and put your 5 minutes in as a subscriber. And then you can comment in the comment section. Now, Mr. Ooman, let's do it. Who's up next? We have Chin Music. And he's got a $49.99 super chat donation. Okay. Oh, yes. I tell you, folks, you guys are the absolute best. And you guys keep me laughing. So I'm going to start with the scotch. My throat's getting a little dry there, Chin. Semper Fi, brother. Thank you. And he says, keep an eye on your email. Send a question on when I get out of the gym. Arm day calls. That's a good deal, man. Stay strong. Stay in shape, folks. 1 second. Let me take care of this business. Mother's milk. Thank you, sir. Arm day calls at the gym. We need to be prepared, folks, up here with a plan. All those other things we need, food, water, shelter, yada, 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 self-defense. But you've got to be in the best physical condition you can be in. The best physical condition you can be in. Yesterday, I went over to a friend's pool, swam a bunch of laps. I feel like my chest is popping out from doing the breaststroke. And yeah, great exercise to be in the water. Great exercise. Any exercise is good. Hiking, running. Just remember, people are dropping dead like flies from the Jim Jones juice. So be careful out there. Woo! Chin, thank you a lot. I'll be looking for your email, and that's how we'll roll with it. Okay. Mr. Uman, we're going to move on here. Who else is up? We got Boomer. Boomer's in with a Canadian $20 super chat donation. And he says, hey, mark my word. And Boomer, I'm marking him, buddy. He says, if they ever succeed, that Scotch is fast. If they ever succeed in eliminating Trump, it'll be the straw that breaks the camel's back and also Kamala's back. Oh, play on words. I love a good pun. Anyways, yeah, if they assassinate, eliminate, remove Trump's soul from the planet by blasting him, that is the straw that breaks the camel's back. If he is assassinated, it is because the Democrats did it, want it. I wonder, is the FBI involved in this latest fruitcake? How did he know where Trump was going to be? Does Trump put his itinerary on the internet? Ask yourself that question. If he said, I'm going golfing, would anyone know exactly where? Did this guy follow the Trump security detail from Mar-a-Lago to the golf course? Did the FBI and the Secret Service once again fail to identify somebody following the president? Is this guy, this shooter, whatever the hell his name is, let me get that for you real quick. Ryan Wesley Ruth, Routh. Has he had contact with the FBI? Has he made threats online? Has he hinted that Trump should be assassinated? Did he comment that hopefully the next person is a better shot than the last person? Trump is a brave motherfucker. Absolutely brave. And I'll tell you why, folks. This is crazy. You know, he actually said that, you know, they're never going to chase him away. They're not going to chase him away. He was on the fifth hole of the golf course. Shots were fired. The Secret Service, quote, pounced on the president, covered him. Well, the Secret Service did their job of protecting him. I'd like to see the footage of Trump golfing and how many seconds it took them to get over there. Well, I hope they did their job properly. I hope it was the real Secret Service and not the Department of Homeland Security like they did last time. Last time it was the Department of Homeland Security. But don't worry. They were trained with 2 hours of a webinar on how to protect a president from assassination, what to do just in case an assassination attempt was made. And they fucked everything up, folks. Well, you know, at first they didn't catch this guy. You know, he shoots at the president. Apparently, allegedly, Secret Service returned fire. Well, this guy's wearing a bright pink shirt. How did they miss? I mean, how far away was he? I'm pretty sure a lot of the Secret Service guys have, well, actual full auto assault rifles or submachine guns. How did they miss? Oh, I'm sure they would need to be very careful not to shoot anyone else, right? And the guy, he runs back to his car and he escapes. They catch him down the road, but I was just shocked, right? Right? They got his license plate, but you know, I thought, well, if you speed in Los Angeles, if you're caught speeding and you don't pull over, immediately you'll have at least 2 police choppers and 3 news choppers on your ass, and they'll follow you till you run out of gas. But, thankfully, I'm going to give credit to the Florida police for catching the guy right away. Right away. Wow. Just wow. Thank you very much, Boomer. Thank you. And thank you for your continuing great support of the channel. Now, Man says we got more, and we're climbing. We're at 425 people live right now. Make sure you're the people that are thumbs up. Thumbs up is like giving YouTube the bird. It tells them this is good stuff. We want more. So share, and get other people here. Friends, family, co-workers. If they don't like Trump, they don't like freedom, they don't like the Constitution, I don't care. Because that's the rule of law we have here, the Constitution. Okay, let's do it. Man, who's up next? We got Zombie Pumps. $1.99 super chat donation. Zombie Pumps has become a weekly commenter here with his super chat donations. And he says, flush your toilet from your rain tank for $1.99. He's got, if you've got water on your property, he'll take care of you. Zombie Pumps is doing Prepper water supply systems. Prepper water supply systems. So check them out at their website, Zombie Pumps. I don't know what their website address is. It's probably zombiepumps.com. I don't know. Anyways, thanks for the great support, Zombie. Love it. And folks, I think, well, I know we don't have Jolene in the house yet, but I've got Uman here. We need to get Zombie Pumps over onto the preparedmind.club. Preparedmind.club. There's a lot of companies out there, folks, that sell low voltage or DC voltage pumps for people with shallower wells. They got all kinds of solar stuff, but Zombie Pumps obviously is a Prepared Mind American patriot, and I like that a lot. He's definitely one of the deplorables, that's for sure. All right, thank you. And then Uman, this is interesting. It's been reported by Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. She has alleged that the ABC News whistleblower, this guy that signed an affidavit, which is a legal document claiming that Kamala Harris was given debate questions by ABC and her sorority sister so she could prepare for the debate. Illegally, against the rules, sneaky. As far as I'm concerned, this is not only debate fuckery, it is election interference because ABC had the monopoly on the debate. Unbelievable. So the whistleblower, folks, died in a car crash. The whistleblower allegedly died in a car crash on Friday the 13th. How strange is that? Are you surprised? Because I'm not. This whistleblower now has joined the 2 dead Boeing whistleblowers taking a low airfare ride into heaven. I don't know if they're going to heaven or not, but they're definitely taking the shuttle through the sky, flying those friendly skies with Boeing and whatever they did to this whistleblower. Car crash death. Isn't that kind of like a Seth Rich thing? Hey, you fuck with the political candidate on the Democrat side, and you're done. You're toast. You're going to get Arkansided. Arkanside. The definition in the Webster's Merriam Dictionary of Arkanside is to be killed in one of the many ways that Clinton associates, friends, and bodyguards have died. Not accusing Hillary of anything, but you might want to check her alibi. Okay. Oh, good God. Just where do we go now? To quote a line from Guns N' Roses. Let's do this. Man, who's up next? Super chat donation time. Dan Erickson is back again with a $5 super chat donation this time. He says, hey, I'm going to see the movie, the Reagan movie, next weekend. Dennis Quaid, I like that guy. Dennis Quaid is an interesting fellow. He's a Hollywood weirdo. He's brothers with Randy Quaid, who was the fruitcake in the Independence Day Alien movie and who turned out to just kind of lose his shit about conspiracy theories a number of years ago, took a lot of flack, but Dennis Quaid has always played interesting roles. Some of my favorite movies he did were a Dreamscape, an 80s movie, and then Inner Space, which had to do with miniaturization. Funny movie. But he does look a bit like a younger Ronald Reagan in the movie. Just the clips I've seen. Let us know how it is, Dan. I tell you what, I don't buy and pay and endorse Hollywood. But Ronald Reagan was a great American, an incredible American. He was once a Democrat, folks, until the Democrats started becoming un-American. Un-American. And government became un-American. And so Reagan decided to change parties. Reagan decided to run for president after being governor of California. And Reagan set America straight again. Even as a kid, and I'll share this story again. I was 10 when Reagan was elected. And my childhood, from my earliest memories of just domestic life, life was difficult for my mom and dad, difficult. Things were expensive with inflation. Gas was hard to get during the oil embargo. They had huge inflation. Jimmy Carter blamed us, the people, and said that we were in a malaise. He fucked up. They got hostages taken in Iran because the Iranians pulled their shit. They took hostages. Jimmy Carter tried having them rescued. That mission, the rescue mission, flopped. But when Reagan was elected, the attitude changed. Iran gave the hostages back pronto. Snap of the fingers. Reagan was like, the bombing begins in 15 minutes. Reagan was a great communicator, folks. Go back and listen to his speeches as president, as governor, as a candidate, as a pro-American in the 60s and 70s. The things he said are nothing like politicians speak today. He was truly an intellectual philosopher and statesman, and someone who loves his country. But it changed my life when Reagan was elected, folks. Changed my life. As a child, I felt proud to be an American because Reagan was doing and saying the right things. And good things happened after a couple of years of him working on the economy. And now we got Trump. He's not a Ronald Reagan, folks. He's a Trump, right? Sometimes they say, it's not the hero we need, but it's the hero we deserve. Something like that, right? There's never going to be another Reagan. There's never going to be another Trump. There's never going to be another Teddy Roosevelt. There'll never be another Andrew Jackson or George Washington. But we can continue to look to strong American figures to save our country in times of great need. And our country is actually in worse shape than we were in the late 70s. We're in worse shape as a nation than the 1930s, when the world was facing Adolf Hitler, when the world was facing out of control communist murder in Russia, when the world was facing economic turmoil. We're worse than that right now. Every country around the world is trying to silence us, me, you, all of us. They took control. Every nation has taken control of their media, radio, and internet, trying to promote their message, which we call propaganda. But the internet through social media has given me and you a voice. And that voice you can exercise right now by hitting super chat button. Get your comments on the screen. It's not just me saying things, folks. It's all of us. And we share with each other. We don't need the propaganda from CNN, ABC, NBC, MSNBC, MSDNC, MS, anything, right? We don't need them, and they hate that. That's why they call what I say misinformation. And if it's critical enough, they'll remove the channel. I think it's critical enough they've somehow got some trash on my computer, trying to break it, hack it, fuck it up. But don't worry, I have many ways to get back online with you guys. Truly, folks, never give up. Don't stop fighting, period. Don't stop. The tide is turning The fight is a long way from being over, folks, but people are waking up. The tide is turning, and I think it's going to come to blows. I think it's going to take physical violence, because I'm going to harken back to Darcy T and continue with her question before we get to more of yours. But I think they're going to try and assassinate Trump again, violence before the election. And if Trump wins and Kamala can't cheat enough to take over, there will be violence coming after and all the way through to January 21st, January 6th, whatever day they do the certification, and then the 20th, right, when the inaugural swearing in of Trump. I wouldn't be surprised if there was an assassination attempt right there. And there'll be continuing assassination attempts, violence, illegal aliens going nuts. They're taking over apartment buildings in Aurora, Colorado. They're taking over streets in Springfield, Ohio. They're taking over oil fields down in Texas. They're screwing with people in Dallas, Fort Worth area. You better stand up. You better wake up, and you better get what you need to be prepared. Pow. Woo! Ooh, man. Who do we got next, man? Who's up? What, they got something to say? And we've got Diorce in the house with a $9.19 super chat donation. And Diorce is a big 9mm fan, folks. Part deer, part horse, all American. And he says, I bought 1,000 rounds of 9mm Parabellum and added 2 more cases of meals ready to eat to the stockpile over the weekend. MREs, meals ready to eat. The military meals, folks. And there are both government contractors and private contractors that make these for camping, for people. They tasted a lot better when I was starving and out in the field as a Marine. That's when they tasted the best. I was like, man, this is delicious. You know, you're working your ass off. They work. They're calorie packed, nutrition packed, condensed meals. What they don't come with is water. Make sure you have water also. Make sure you have water. Anyways, I'm glad you're making sure you're ammoed up. You know what I think I need? I think I need more shotgun ammunition. I think I need more shotgun ammunition. The drone thing, I think, is going to get nasty. The use of drones by Kamala's government, if she decides, well, we've got some kind of problems in the United States and we need to eliminate the bad guys. They've perfected the art, or the military art of war, using drones to target individuals. I'm not going to be surprised, folks, if Americans start getting targeted. And they'll say, oh, no, these drones aren't ours. These are Russian drones. If you buy that, I've got a bridge to sell you that, you know, crosses the entire ocean. No, I've got a tunnel to sell you that goes to Hawaii. Anyways, thank you, Diorce. 1,000 rounds, that'll keep you busy for a while. It's your show, folks. We're almost to 1 hour, and you guys have led the way with questions, comments, thoughts, and topics. Ooh, man, who do we have up next? And if you haven't gotten up yet, get in line. Super chat donation. And we got Tom Lee right there with a huge $20 super chat donation. And he says, amen, brother. I tell you, Tom, I ain't done. I'm on the pulpit. I'm on the pulpit, right? I'm on my soapbox. And get this, Americans that are black, they don't like Kamala. Or is it Kamala? Or is it Camel Ho? Well, I tell you what, fuck Kamala. Fuck the Democrats. They all need to be locked up for treason. I didn't say that. Well, I just repeated it, but I quoted this man who was in an interview, an on-the-street interview. I'm guessing he was down in Florida because his shorts matched his shirt, and he had a goofy hat. Hey, and I've got nothing against goofy hats and goofy clothes, folks, but that'll help you recognize that particular video. Thank you, Tom Lee. Yes, this guy chewed up and spit out Kamala in this street interview. Black man, not giving a fuck. In fact, Mike Tyson was being interviewed by some social media hip hopster, super cool dude. And Mike Tyson said, I'm voting for Trump. And I don't give a fuck what you think. And I'm paraphrasing him. But he said, I don't care. And the other guy says, well, I don't agree with you voting for Trump. He said, I don't care. What are you going to do about it? And it's almost like Mike Tyson wanted to fuck him up. As far as I was concerned, Mike Tyson was challenging him. What's he going to do about it? I'll bust you in your fucking chops. Hey, Tyson's a bad motherfucker, folks. He's not a rocket scientist. He didn't cure cancer. He was a hell of a fighter. He's an interesting guy. Dangerous. He's a dangerous man. Right? He made his money fighting people. You think he's not dangerous? Anyways, Mike Tyson, he don't give a fuck. In fact, this afternoon, Steve Harvey, comedian, host of Family Feud, and I'll paraphrase him, he goes, yeah, I'm not a big fan of the harsh language, the insults, the arrogance of Trump, but he says, we need him to fix the problem. And you know what he called the problem? The black and other people who have been illegally flown into the country and spread around the country. He called them raccoons. Raccoons. And I thought, well, Steve Harvey's black. But is he saying raccoons and referring to the black people that are here now? The dark people that are here now, calling them coons? It's kind of weird. I thought, well, for somebody who apparently isn't a Republican, but recognizes that Trump is the man to fix the problems, but using the term raccoons to describe the bad people that are here, let's see, robbing, assaulting, home invasion, theft, murder, rape, and more murder. They're not Swedish immigrants. They're not German immigrants. They're not Russian immigrants. They're third world shithole immigrants. And folks, I don't think the blacks like Kamala, and they're losing more and more daily. She was actually somewhere using yet again another fake ass accent. Another fake ass accent. Unbelievable that she would do that. Seriously, folks. Another fake ass accent. Blacks don't like Kamala. They sure don't. Anyways, let's just have some fun with it. Let's keep going. Wouldn't be prudent to stop now. We got a lot to talk about. Okay. Interesting. Think about this, folks. The would-be assassin today. Oh, by the way, super chat donations up there, questions up there. We got a lot to talk about. The would-be assassin dropped his rifle, backpack, and his GoPro camera. That was reportedly found in this wooded area at the West Palm Beach golf course. Why would you bring a GoPro camera to assassinate the president? This was a CNN report, folks. Dropped his rifle. Why would he drop his rifle? He's a fucking clown. Apparently, he was captured. He didn't shoot back. What motivated this guy to do this? I mean, why would someone say, I need to shoot a political candidate? Well, wait. I almost forgot. Trump is an existential threat to democracy. Trump is trying to destroy democracy. Trump is trying to hurt democracy, take it away. He's trying to take people's rights, yada, 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 yada. Well, this country is not a democracy. It's a constitutional republic, meaning you can't have 51% of the people decide to kill the other 49% because they don't like them, right? Rights are guaranteed in the Constitution as part of the contract with the people of America to have a free government, a free people. All right, let's do this. Man, who's up next? We're at the 1 hour mark. We'll do 2 hours or longer as long as you guys want to keep talking. And Boomer is back with another $20 super chat donation, his second of the night. All right, I hear you, man. I hear you, man. Okay, there it is. So, Boomer says, I used to like Hollywood actors such as Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, and even Robert De Niro. But now I can't stand any of them, and one of my idols, such as John Wayne, must be turning in his grave. Well, you see, when John Wayne was an actor, when Ronald Reagan, that's right, Ronald Reagan was an actor before he became a politician. John Wayne was a Republican. Ronald Reagan was a Republican. My real estate broker back in California, back when I was developing real estate and property, he had pictures of John Wayne and Ronald Reagan in his office. And trust me, if anyone ever walked in there and didn't like that, he would probably have told him to get the fuck out, because that was Jimmy. Love that guy. All righty, but here we are. Hollywood actors, I used to like them. You know why we liked them? Because they were entertaining. You see, I never said to myself, I want to hear Robert De Niro's political opinion. Why the fuck would I care? He's an actor. He's told how to act, how to express himself, how to carry himself, how to look, where to stand. What's your facial expression you need? Yeah, that's it. Right? Same with Tom Cruise. Same with Brad Pitt. Same with every actor. Who gives a fuck? Right? I know Jim Caviezel is against child trafficking. I know Mel Gibson is against it. I know that Tom Selleck has an opinion politically, but they don't change the way I think. Taylor Swift certainly doesn't. I mean, you've got Kid Rock, a singer, a musician who supports freedom, liberty. And I really don't give a fuck what he says either. He won't influence me. Even the great Ted Nugent, the author of the book Kill It and Grill It, I think that was his hunting/cookbook. I don't care. I mean, I like to read and know that they think that way because that's someone we all know. Hey, that's great they think that way, but it's not going to change my vote. It isn't. Ted Nugent, though, if he can change people to think, hey, why not love America and vote Trump? Same with Kid Rock, great. Taylor Swift opens her mouth. Who gives a fuck? Anyways, it's crazy. I can't stand these fucking left-wing people. They don't pay my bills. And I'll tell you what, there are enough movies, my friends, that were made before the woke, anti-American, unconstitutional-minded dipshits in Hollywood. There's plenty of movies for me to watch and rewatch the rest of my life when I need entertainment. But I'll tell you what's entertaining, talking with you guys. Talking with you guys is very entertaining because it matters. The movies don't really matter. You guys matter. Your super chats, your questions, comments, thoughts, opinions, those influence me, folks, way more than any Hollywood celebrity. Now, of course, if I got the likes of Mel Gibson to come on here and do a simulcast with me, an interview, that would be fascinating. Great actor. He is actually the real Mad Max, right, from the movies. But he won't change my opinions. All he can do is offer information, data, statistics, thoughts. I'll consider them, but he can't change my mind, right? But it is more like deeds, real deeds by real people that really influence others. Trump, after the attempted assassination today, said this, and it is a direct quote, "Nothing will slow me down. I will never surrender." Folks, fight, fight, fight. That is the order of the day of the election season for the rest of our lives. We need to fight to get our republic back 100% to where the Constitution is the accepted law of the land and no communists sit in any seat of power or control any part of the government, elected or deep state / bureaucracy. Now, we got Chin Music. We got his question up. And he says, man, it hasn't been a week that I've been wearing my new wedding ring, and I've been hit on 3 times. What is with a man's ring? What is with the rings, man? Is it a challenge? These women need Jesus. Whoa. I didn't expect to get that from you, Chin. I didn't expect it, but here we are. I got some other good stuff. Now, to the left, says Chin Music. They started with the cat song meme, and it backfired spectacularly. Let me explain that in case you haven't seen it. Trump's lines from the debate on Tuesday, right? They're eating the dogs, they're eating the pets, they're eating the cats. Someone took that and put it into a song. It's kind of like a rap hip hop thing. They were trying to smear Trump. It was so fucking funny that Republicans, Trumpsters, they took it and they ran with it. They're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs, eating the animals, right? And they're playing music to it on piano, synthesizer. It's fucking funny. Backfired. Completely trolled themselves. Trump trolled these idiots. With his own words, they took him and made him a hero in the world of comedy. By saying something, this is back to Chin Music now. By saying something bombastic, he baited them to drawing attention to Springfield, where the animals are being eaten, and it worked. Now people are searching it out and discovering the severity of the problem. The shitbag commie Pravda media has been camouflaging. Pravda is the Russian Soviet Union Communist Truth magazine / newspaper. Continuing with Chin Music, he says, "We win again. Still patiently waiting for some soy maggot to get in my face with his bullshit. And as soon as he makes it legal, I will accommodate him with a rapid change of plans in front of his fat, smelly girlfriend." I tell you, I was talking to my son Lucas today, and I said, I'm tired of people pointing at me, you, all of us, and excoriating us, criticizing us, putting us down, threatening us because we're normal. But they're trying to normalize pedophilia. They're trying to normalize pet meals. They're trying to normalize the destruction of America. They're trying to normalize supporting terrorism. Hamas, Palestinians, Hezbollah, the Houthis, they're all terrorists. They murder people in cold blood, and they use children to deliver bombs. I ain't shitting you. They use children. They raise their children with the idea that if they can kill all the Jews possible in their lives, that Allah, their God, will reward them. Can you imagine being a mother raising a child to be a terrorist? You'll be a good little martyr someday. Just keep being a scumbag. That's who these people are, the Democrats. That's what they support. Kamala tried playing it though in the debate. I support Israel, but I support the Palestinians. But I support Israel, but I support terror. I mean, the Iranians, right? You can't. How do you? They're trying to play it both sides, and they don't like anyone. They don't like anyone. The Palestinians. They'll kill them all. I love the Queers for Palestine. More of that, please. More Queers for Palestine, please. I tell you, and speaking of Kamala, speaking of camel toes the whore, get this, folks. CNN, in an effort to sound neutral, is exposing Camel Toes Harris for repeatedly deceiving followers with misleading, out of context videos that are edited and captioned. Well, you know what that sounds like? That sounds a lot like Liz Piggy Cheney and her January 6th committee and the evidence they created where they omitted what Trump said. They lied about when he said what he said. And they edited that in order to make it look like Republicans tried taking over the Capitol building. Yeah, Liz Cheney, she needs to be drugged by her hair, kicking and screaming into a court and tried for treason, fabricating evidence, destroying evidence, manipulating evidence, misleading the people of America, the public, the taxpayers, and causing President Donald Trump to be attacked. That's contributed to the threats against him and his family and an assault on our Constitution and our lives. And CNN, folks at CNN, listen to me very carefully. I'm not buying your shit either. No, no, no. Not buying your shit either. All right, Mr. Uman, you've got something here you sent me from Corsair. Corsair sent me this, and it's this is a picture of the man in custody after the attempted assassination of Trump this afternoon in West Palm Beach. Ryan Wesley Ruth, age 58, of Greensboro, North Carolina. The man's ex-Twitter account is filled with trying to recruit people to go fight for Ukraine, Taiwan, and anti-Israel content. So he's anti-Israeli. He's pro-Ukraine, and he's also pro-Taiwan, apparently. He's got to be a complete left-wing sack of shit because he supports anti-Israel efforts. So that's good. We got him. Now, interestingly, in this picture that he's got from his profile, I guess, he is also a Bernie Sanders who is a communist. He's a Bernie Sanders fan, and he supports Ukraine, sending your tax dollars to Ukraine. Yeah, sounds like a Republican to me. Oh, good golly. I tell you, folks. I told you that Kamala, she was using another accent today. It was a Cajun accent, and she opened the show with a Cajun accent. I mean, what'd she do? Talk like fucking Cajun, man? And she was cackling uncontrollably again. Her cackle, 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 cackle. Right? Well, she's a pandering hoe, and she was at the Congressional Black Caucus Gala. Why did she employ, in front of the Black Caucus, a fake bullshit accent? If I came in here and I put on a cowboy hat, I was like, hey, y'all, let's talk, y'all. What if I tried doing that? Why? Why fucking bother with a fake fucking accent? Well, she's pandering. Absolutely pandering. What a crock of shit. What a piece of crap. What a nincompoop. What an ultramaroon. All right, Uman, who's up next? Super chat time. And if you've got your super chat, there's a button up there. But for now, it's Dan the Man Erickson with a $5 super chat. And he says, never listened to an entire Taylor Swift song. I can tell you what, brother, neither have I. I've heard some words. I've heard a couple of bars, and who gives a fuck? I've never listened either. But Dan continues. Don't get it. Now the Sammy Hagar 5150 tour is great. I don't know what the Sammy Hagar 5150 tour is great. I don't know what you mean by that. I know that Sammy Hagar's first album with Van Halen was called 5150. And it's a great album, by the way. Great album from the 1980s. Anyways, that tour is great. 5150, by the way, is the police code for crazy person. So maybe that's the reference. Maybe you can get some clarification for me on that, Uman. Once again, what a world. What a world. Okay, let's do some more super chats. What do we got next? Who's up next? Mr. Uman. And it's Tom Lee with another $20 super chat donation. And he says this, who stands for our 60 million unborn dead? And what Tom Lee, I believe, is talking about are all the aborted babies. Who's standing for them? Is it the Democrat Party? No, it's not. It's not the Democrat Party. They don't care about all the aborted children. The children whose lives were cut short as they were just beginning. They were killed intentionally by their own mothers. That's what an abortion is. It's a murder of the child by its own mother. I don't want to talk about exceptions. The exception for this or exception for that. Incest, okay, whatever. I don't care about that. But there are Democrats who are for the 60 million and more. They promote it. In fact, at the Democrat National Convention, the DNC convention, folks, do you remember that they brought a mobile abortion bus there? That's right. Come on in, give your money to Kamala, and then step right out back and abort that fetus. Kill that baby. I believe Trump stands for the 60 million unborn dead children. I know I do. I think that abortion is an awful thing. I understand that rape and incest is an awful thing, and that a mother who has her life threatened by a difficult pregnancy, I understand their concerns. Doctors are not retarded, folks. If they're saying, well, if she carries that baby to term, 9 months, and tries delivering it, we could have some issues. Well, I tell you what, then at 8.5 months, perform a cesarean C-section, right? C-section, cesarean, and deliver the baby through a surgical procedure that is very safe, been around for decades and decades, and you don't have to go through a natural childbirth and threaten the mom's life that way. And I'm sure there's other ways, but I tell you what, when it comes to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, let me read that again. Life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Life, liberty, and property rights was what was originally written, but for some reason, the founding fathers, right, people that were writing back then decided they wanted to use pursuit of happiness. That includes every fucking thing. Property rights, the right to travel, the right to take your property where you want, like your automobile, without having to pay the state a fee. Anyways, 60 million unborn dead, I stand with them. I stand for them. I'm against abortion. I think it's an awful, awful, smelly, awful thing, and it's despicable. It is filthy, and it is ungodly. Thank you, Tom Lee. Thank you very much. And Mr. Uman, who is up next? We got Biaxo again with a $1.99 super chat donation. And he says, spam for Hamas. Well, your super chat donations, folks, when you hit that button, tell me your thoughts down here. You make sure that the Prepared Mind bunker back there, you make sure that it has tuna fish, spam, and other items that we need. You keep the lights on, you keep the show going, and I want to thank you for that. Without you guys, it'd be a lot harder, and I couldn't be done. I would be working right now at a Lowe's or an Ace Hardware, or maybe I'd be making coffee at Starbucks. Who knows, right? If I had to have a third job, I wouldn't have time for this. Thankfully, you guys here make the show go on. Thank you, Biaxo, very, very much. The super chat button's up there. Also, we've got Venmo, CashApp, and PayPal down below, as well as the preparedmind.club website. Now, enough commercialism. Spam for Hamas. Spam is a pork product. It's pork shoulder. And what you need to do is make sure every round of ammunition you have, rub a little bit of spam on it, and then load it in your magazines. Every bullet will have microscopic pork particles, so that if you hit any of those terrorists that are terrorizing your town, it'll be good for them to know and learn that every bullet is a guarantee they won't get to heaven and Allah and their 72 virgins, because it's pork. It's a pig product. And I think it's probably good for your gun as well, because, you know, all that pork fat will lube up your barrel. Anyways, just a thought, helpful hint. And yes, satire. Folks, share the internet address. It's right up there. Share the internet address. Be sure you've hit the thumbs up button. And if you want to comment, you can only do it if you're a subscriber. So you must subscribe down below. Whew. Thank you, Biaxo, very much. I love it. And there's a lot to talk about, folks. We're at the hour and 20-minute mark. We got another 40 minutes in the show, and we've got a lot to talk about. A lot. A lot. Folks, JP Morgan. I'm not a big fan of JP Morgan. JP Morgan Chase. It's a bank. It's a mega bank. And I don't like their CEO, Jamie Dimon. I don't like the guy. His gold and precious metals trading desk was caught manipulating the prices, artificially keeping them down. They got fined $1 billion. People went to jail, and they're still allowed to trade. Anyways, there's. Hey, thanks, Harris Biden administration. Thanks, Department of Justice. But CEO Jamie Dimon is warning of an economic crunch that's worse than a recession, and it's coming. And he says, quote, "We're not out of the woods yet." Folks, listen to them. Even when the bad guys, and I consider Jamie Dimon to be a bad guy. The other day, the CEO of Goldman Sachs says, hey, we don't support Kamala Harris's, Camel Ho Harris's. We don't support her economic plan. I still don't like the guy. I still don't trust them. But trust them when they tell you hard times are coming. Once again, if the town doesn't have food and all the Haitians have eaten the cats and dogs, what are you going to eat? What are you going to eat? That's why you need food stored. 3 months minimum. I recommend a year. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, and your means of self-defense. Right? You need food because there will be supply interruptions. We now have approximately 20 million illegal immigrants in this country, in addition to our own population of numbnuts and dipshits out there who don't know what's going on. And if you told them, they would deny it. And if they tried to think, they couldn't figure it out. That they need to be prepared. Things could get very, very nasty and quick. Woo! Okay, I tell you. And then there's the World War III problems out there, folks. The World War III problems. It is crazy. They are pushing for a nuclear war. Pushing for a nuclear war. The recent Democrat who has supported Trump and said he wants his people that follow him, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., RFK Jr., he has said it's time to, quote, stop this reckless escalation. Right? He's basically telling Kamala Harris, well, Joe Biden's the president, right? Supposedly. But he's telling them, do not authorize long-range missile attacks into Russian territory. Don't do it. It is a reckless escalation, period. Reckless escalation, says RFK. Everyone sees what's happening, right? Blinken, Anthony Blinken, shit stain Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, ambassador, was over meeting with the Polish foreign minister. They're trying to discuss enhanced military aid to Ukraine. Enhanced military aid to Ukraine. That means long-range missiles. And the several or some important European Parliament members, Poland, said, Blinken, go home, get lost. Right? They are tired of this American drive to push this war. Well, we're paying for it in America, or rather the U.S. government is. But people of Europe are waking up. It is not going to do anyone any good. It is reckless escalation. And once again, Vladimir Putin has come out and said, don't do it. It is, right, calling for World War III. Russia is now threatening to wipe Kiev, Ukraine off the map if Biden and NATO, Europe, send their long-range missiles to Ukraine and say, go ahead, shoot them into Russia. This is crazy, folks. It's absolutely crazy. And they actually concluded in the media. They actually concluded. I was almost shocked. What did they say? Well, if a nuclear war is started in Europe, there's no way the United States government is going to stay out of it. Nope. There's no way to stay out of it. Once you start it and you're in it, it's over. You're playing to the end. And folks, there's no way to win a nuclear war. Just not going to happen. All right, we've got some super chat donations, and that's the button right up there that gets you on the screen down here. Your comments, questions, thoughts, I'll make you famous. And the world needs to hear your thoughts too. And it is Kim Vasquez with a $2 super chat donation. And she says, Kamalier. There's a new name. Kamala the liar. Kamalier, the hoe. Such an example for our girls. Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, the Democrats, they want boys who think they're girls to be in women's sports because they care about real girls so much. Where's the feminists? There is absence from this question, as PETA is absence from the question of why are Haitians eating our cats and dogs and ducks and geese that live in parks that are fucking tame? Anyways, Kamala the liar, Kamalier, the hoe. How did she break into the world? Somehow she managed to pass law school. Somehow she managed to pass the bar exam. There are pictures that showed up of her in her youth, dressed like a complete fucking hoe. And she became the side girl for Montel Williams and the side girl for the obviously older and married mayor of San Francisco, Willie Brown. Yes, Kamala ho. Kamalier the hoe. No problem there. Trump said, allegedly, grab him by the pussy. And they said back in 2016, that's unacceptable. But how many dicks did Kamala grab on her way to the top, pulling her way up in politics to become more and more powerful until she became the vice president, and now she's running for president. What a great example, sleeping with a married man in politics, more than twice her age. Willie Brown was 60. She was in her 20s, right? Going out and partying in public. She is not a moral example. She is not an example of doing it on your own. She is, Kamala, a dumb bitch who has relied on using sex to get what she wants, not her brains. She has laughed all the way through power, keeping men in prison, keeping men on death row when they didn't belong there, denying people their rights. With the stroke of her pen, she says, she can destroy someone's life and have them arrested. Truly a power-hungry whore. An absolute power-hungry whore. And speaking of whores, thank you, Kim Vasquez. But the porn whore, Stormy Daniels, is back. She is back. And she says there's a strong possibility Trump will try her for treason. Sounds like she's writing a script for another one of her low-cost porns where some Trump lookalike is going to take her to jail and punish her, right? I guess since she's now out of favor with the media, now that she is irrelevant. I mean, were they going to bring another porn star whore into the campaign for Kamala? I mean, what is Stormy going to do? Porn whores for Kamala, right? We approve this message that Kamala's a whore too. Unbelievable. But she's back. I guess she needs some more money. Actually, the porn whore, Stormy Daniels, had a huge judgment against her from Trump for her bullshit and lies. I don't think he's going to try her for treason, but she's trying to get into the news. Crazy business, folks. I'm glad the porn whore Stormy Daniels is back because it's just going to be more fodder for the cannon. These people, these idiots that want to line up. All right, let's do this. Ooh, man, who's up next on the Prepared Mind channel? It's Dan Erickson with a $10 super chat donation. That button's up there. Dan says, hey, played a guitar in rock bands when I was younger. Lots of you girls use a condom, people.
I read that several times, and I think you need to put a comma after the girls part.
Played guitar in rock bands when I was younger. Lots of girls use a condom, people. How about that? That works. Commas are important. Kamalas are not important. This is a Dan Erickson public service announcement. Thank you, Dan, for the great support, the super chat. But yes, there's lots of girls out there, lots of Kamalas, lots of Stormies. You got to be careful. You don't know what kind of creepy crawlies you're going to get. I don't even want to tell you the shit you see on the internet, folks. The morality of people out there is just dangerous. The idea and concept of monogamy just gets better and better. Anyways, let's do this. Ooh, man, let's continue. We're into our last 30 minutes of the show tonight, and we got Davey D with a $52 super chat, bam, donation. He says, I'm going off grid. So many really don't know it is self-sufficient. I tell you what, in order to go off grid, you are relying on yourself. Tell you what, Davey D, I appreciate your support because, well, we all need to support one another. We do. I tell you what, I was off grid in the RMZ, brother. Semper Fi. When you go to bed at night and you're in a tent and you've got a 5-watt solar panel to charge your phone, you realize times are tough. When you wake up in the middle of the night off grid and your tent has holes in it you didn't know about and you get rained on all night, it's interesting perspective wise. What does it take to survive? When you're off grid in the middle of nowhere, I was in the RMZ jungle, no power, no water, and you've got to collect your own water. You've only got the food in your backpack and what you can catch or hunt. It's crazy understanding how hard life is. When you wake up in the morning, step out of your tent, and try and dry off. It's interesting. If shit hits the fan and we go into self-sufficiency mode, but you're not all alone in a jungle or in the desert or in the woods or in the swamps. If the lights go out, we're self-sufficient. You better learn to be self-efficient as preppers. The warning has been given, but get in good physical shape and good mental shape because chance favors the prepared mind. Thank you, Davey D. Travel safe, brother, and we'll see you on the other side. Unless you're going to be able to, well, reach out and touch someone here every week on the live Sunday night show. And it is, folks, the zoo. And Trump was shot at again. Absolutely shot at again. Before we get to the next super chat donation, I'm going to do one thing here. And guess what that is? I'm going to check the news and see if we have more information. Oh, there it is. There it is. They released photos of the sniper nest outside of the Trump Golf Club. This guy came from North Carolina. North Carolina. And he had a sniper nest. Yep. Look at that. Fox News even figured out who he is. His sniper nest, folks. Quite interesting. There it is. His stuff, his backpack is hung up on the fence. He's got a GoPro aimed, it looks like, through the fence at the hole. There's another bag, I don't know what it is, and some sort of military style weapon. It doesn't, I guess it could be an AK, but I don't know. It's got a large magazine apparently hanging out the bottom of it. Let's see if I can look at it a little closer. Yes, it's an AK style weapon, not an assault weapon, but yeah, backpack in his little sniper nest. So he showed up there, he got all set up, and then he decided he was going to kill the president. What a great guy. What a great guy. And this is crazy. Democrat Senator Tammy Duckworth. I mean, if someone shoots at her, is she going to duck? If the Haitians are in her neighborhood, is she going to say, I'm not really a duck? So this filthy Democrat senator attacks Trump after this second assassination attempt. That is interesting. What is it that Trump did, right? He got shot at, so this stupid bitch attacks him. Oh, this is great. She says, I, along with all patriotic Americans, condemn all acts of political violence, no matter the political positions of those targeted. There's not good people on both sides of political violence. I don't think we have any Republicans shooting at Trump. We haven't had any Republicans shooting at Kamala. We haven't had any Republican straight whites killing children in schools. That's all been left-wing, left idiots, LGB fruitcakes, and the rest of them. Unbelievable. Attacking. Anyways, enough of this shit, folks. Enough of this shit. These people are absolute idiots. And Kamala Harris has apparently responded, fuck Kamala. I want to hear what you guys want to talk about. Ooh, man, who's next here on the Prepared Mind channel? Tell you what, I dare all these fruitcakes to try this shit with me. I'm a pretty easy target. 6'6", 280 pounds, natural blonde hair. Try me. Fucking try me. So William Hallman checks in with a 556 super chat donation. And he says, hey, John, I want to learn carpentry. I would like to find someone in my area of North Carolina who can teach me. Is there anything in the Prepared Mind Network? The answer is no. No. I don't know anyone in North Carolina who can teach construction, carpentry, etc. My recommendation, until you find someone, William, is to go on YouTube to learn carpentry techniques. My recommendation is to go to the nearest supply house, lumberyard, if you will. Whether it's a big chain like Home Depot or Lowe's or Maynard's or 89 Lumber, but go to any lumberyard, and probably the smaller ones, the mom and pop style private ones. When you go to them, just tell them what you're looking to do. They'll know contractors who want help. I tell you what, down here in Florida, there is a shortage of qualified construction workers. And so finding people who want to learn construction, are enthusiastic about it, and willing to get sweaty and hot, it's hard to find. So if you've got those qualities, William, someone will want to pick you up. Someone will, I tell you. Okay. In fact, I'll tell you what, last week I interviewed an active duty Marine Corps captain who's interested in construction, who wants to be a construction manager and get his general contractor's license like me, wants to go to work for the company I work for. And it was great interviewing an active duty Marine captain. Dude was awesome, sharp, brilliant. And it just felt good, once again, talking to someone who shares beliefs in the American dream and our life, our vision for a country that has constitutional protections and all the freedoms and liberties that we could want. Anyways, we'll see if the company hires him. I sure hope they do. What a great guy. William, go to a lumberyard. put your credentials out there, show them that you're interested. And I'll tell you how I broke into construction as a young man. The very same thing. I worked at a lumber yard and met all the contractors. And then when I was ready to enter into the construction field, I just gave them a call and said, hey, I'm that John guy, the yard foreman from down there. And they're like, yeah, we'll use you. We'll get you in here. I learned some concrete. I learned some how to be in a ditch with a shovel, moving rocks, wheelbarrow stuff. Eventually, I got to the point where I was allowed to hold tools and hammer stuff together. It was fun. It was fun. Anyways, William, thank you very much for the great support. And Uman, who is next? I think we got some more stuff. And it's Boomer back for an unprecedented third time in one show. $20 super chat donation. And he says, a marksman can take down a primary well over 1 mile away. Better security, perhaps? I'm going to have to agree with you. They need real security. But how do you, in the United States of America, Boomer, in a heavily populated urban area, how do you watch everyone? How do you do it? Well, Trump would have to go into hiding to be properly and fully protected. He really would. And so this is rough. It really is. Now, in the state of Florida and many other places, your line of sight is not going to be that long. Yes, in the desert, in very flat country, in an area with a raised firing position, a crow's nest, like a bell tower, clock tower, the roof of a building, starting to sound familiar. You can get a line of sight on a person much further away. Now, here's the deal. This guy, this clown today, was trying to shoot at Trump with an AK-47. It is a weapon that is notorious for two reasons. It'll fire and operate in just about any condition around the world, from 120 degrees in the desert, scorching hot, to below 0 degrees Fahrenheit in the coldest of areas. It's a notoriously reliable weapon that shoots a notoriously shitty round. It's not accurate. I mean, there are people who can hit with them at 250, 300 yards, but it's not designed for that. The Kalashnikov, right, the AK-47, is a combat weapon designed for close quarter combat, 200 yards and less. It is not designed for marksmanship. It's designed for putting as many rounds down range as you can. The pray and spray weapon of communism. And that was the one he chose for a sniper shot on President Trump. Once again, thinking, absolutely a lot of trouble thinking, but the AK-47 is an incredibly effective combat weapon. The real AK-47 that's full auto is an assault rifle by definition. Doesn't matter, though. If you can't hit what you're aiming at, you're fucking worthless. And I don't want to engage in the AK versus AR argument. They all have their place in the world. Anyways, that one has been battled ad nauseum. You can literally open up the receiver on an AK-47, put a ham sandwich in it, lock it down, and make the gun operate with a ham sandwich inside the action. That is how disgustingly reliable they are. And I've never owned one, and I never will, unless I find one that I pulled out of the cold, dead hands of a stinking communist that was trying to kill me. All right, Boomer, thanks again, pal. Ooh, man, who's up next? We had an hour and 45 minutes in, and we got Dan the Man Erickson back again. $5 super chat, and he clarifies himself that he was in a rock band, and when you're in a rock band or a music band, lots of girls want to love you. And Dan, I guess, was no exception, but he wore a prophylactic, a condom, a rubber. He says, never got a girl pregnant. No abortions if you're a responsible person. And that's just it. That's just it. You have to be responsible ahead of time, right? You can't go out and have all kinds of unprotected sex and then go, whoops, made a mistake. Not a problem, though. Not a problem at all. That's how they roll. They'll make mistakes and then, we'll just fix the problem later. Well, tell you what, not the smartest thing. It's not good for them psychologically. Women that get abortions end up fucked in the head later for it. It's just sad. It's terrible. But it also causes medical problems. It's not a good thing. It sure isn't. I tell you, folks, absolutely incredible. Now, I did say that Kamala Harris, camel ho, camel liar Harris, responded after the second Trump assassination attempt. And this is funny. The White House responded by stating, quote, the president and vice president have been briefed and, quote, they are relieved to know that he is safe, Donald Trump. No, they're not. They are absolutely not relieved. I don't buy that for a fucking second. I don't buy it for a second. Yeah, I'm not seeing Kamala saying anything. I see a White House press relief. We're glad they're safe. We're really glad. Yeah. And here's what Trump said. Remember on September 10th? That's right, September 10th, Tuesday at the debate, he said, I probably took a bullet to the head because of the things they say about me. And he's talking about Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and other Democrats that claim that Trump is a threat to democracy. Crazy, folks. Absolutely crazy. Let's see. Yeah. Violence has no place in America, says Kamala Harris. Violence has no place in America. She invited in, as borders are, approximately 20 million illegal immigrants who have been on a robbing, raping, murdering rampage since they've arrived. They destroy property, they destroy houses, they take over houses. They are acting as violent gangs. They are selling drugs. They have complete drug networks now that they've imported. And Kamala says, violence has no place in America. Yet she has invited in the most ignorant, low IQ, violent, uneducated un-Americans on the planet. Thanks, Kamala. And while we're talking about the Trump assassination, Uman will be back. We'll do another super chat in a hot second. But it has now been leaked. Remember that dumbass Democrat Senator Blumenthal said that there is some really bad evidence out there that's shocking about the first assassination attempt. This was released on Friday. There is more coming out, that the Secret Service agents who were assigned to Trump for the Butler, Pennsylvania rally, they never, folks, the Secret Service, the SS, never told the police to guard the roof that the assassin climbed up on. And it's funny, is it not, how the shooter found the one and only roof that wasn't being guarded, that had a clear line of sight from an elevated and protected location so he could aim at the president's head. 0 cops, even though the good people of Butler, Pennsylvania, kept pointing up there and telling cops, there's a man, he has a gun, he's on the roof. Were it not for them, he may have gotten off more shots at Trump. Were it not for those great Americans who said, there's a man with a gun, he may have taken a little more time aiming at Trump. And Trump did turn his head at the last second. And the bullet, instead of coming through his eye, right? Instead of coming through his eye, went through his ear. Good golly, folks. Yeah, don't bother guarding that roof, right? We got it covered, says the Secret Service. And then their Secret Service agent left the roof. It was too hot. Or was that a lie too? How do we know what's a lie and isn't a lie? The vice presidential candidate, she is a liar. Come on, liar. Come on, liar. What a bunch of shit, folks. Let's do it. Ooh, man, who's up next on the Prepared Mind channel? And it is none other than Tom Lee. And he's back with a $50 super sticker. What the hey, $50? I guess I'm going to have another scotch, Mr. Lee. And I want to thank you for supporting the Prepared Mind channel and making sure I keep my liver in good shape with a good workout of scotch every Sunday night. Semper Fi to all. God bless America. Stand for what's right or don't stand at all. Bottoms up. Prost. Semper Fi. Cheers and down the hatch. There it is. There it is. And let's do this. Holy cow. We got a lot to talk about. Pray for our country. And I'll tell you what, folks. Yes, pray for our country. Pray for our country. We need all the help we can get. We need a spiritual awakening. And I think, Tom, that it's coming. I really do. I've heard that around the country on college campuses, there's people evangelizing others, saying, look where we're at, right? In the 60s, they got rid of school prayer. Sometime in the 80s, 90s, they got rid of the Pledge of Allegiance. Somewhere in the early 2000s, they decided gay is good. Let's bring gay into school. Somewhere in the last 10, 15 years, they decided the transgender, homosexual, bisexual, any sexual games are going to be played. And they started bringing in, well, transgender speakers, freakish drag queens. It's just been a shit. Yeah, a spiritual awakening. What is right and wrong? What is good and bad? It is easy to determine. It ain't that fucking hard. Thank you, Tom Lee, very much. Be careful, brother. Get prepared. Stay in good shape. Especially us old guys out here. Old guys, we got a few more miles on us. Been kind of through the ringer a little bit. Get in good shape. Stay in. And of course, always be prepared. Let's do this if we can. Ooh, man, who is up next? We got lots to talk about. We got Byaxo back with another $1.99 super chat. And he says, can you show the pictures of the nest? Well, I think it was kind of an exaggerated term describing it as a nest. It didn't look all that impressive. There wasn't like a camouflage netting set up like he showed up early. Nothing like that. Nothing that cool, right? Yeah, let me do it. Let me see if I can do it. Hang on, Byaxo. I'll get the picture. I'll email it and then try and upload it. It's hard to do. It takes a lot of effort. So let's do this. Crud. Download image. I'm showing you guys this as fast as I can go. Now I'm going to email it to myself. And then I've got to transfer it and upload it. Oops, crud. Back here. There we go. Pow. That. Done. And email that. Very good. Now, you guys are pressing me here. Sent to here. No, I don't want it there. Not there. I need to go. Good golly. This is not easy. I hope you're. All right. Here it is. Email. Download. Okay. Coming back to the show. Here we are. And I'm uploading. Where the heck is it? Oh, good golly. It's not there. Let's go to downloads. There it is. Open that. 1 second, Byaxo, and pow. There is the nest. So he was behind a fence. He hung his backpack. He hung his bag for his tampons, and he put his GoPro on the fence aiming it. And then he used that rifle there. That's the nest, apparently. Right? It's not really a sniper's nest. But he was behind some foliage, some green stuff. That's what we got, folks. This is what Kamala Harris wants. She wants anyone who dares to stand up to her to take political action. They have called for violence. They have encouraged violence, Mad Maxine Waters, etc. Don't believe them for a second, folks. They don't have any love for this country, the rule of law, or the Constitution. They actually think, and they say, and they promote this concept that Trump is trying to destroy the Constitution. Really? They don't like the First Amendment, free speech. They don't like the Second Amendment, right? Self-defense, the right to keep and bear arms. They don't like the Fourth and Fifth Amendment, which protects us, our papers, our homes, our lives, our property from government abuse. They certainly don't like the 10th Amendment. And if you take into the January 6th prisoner abuse, torture, deprivation of rights, they don't like the 7th Amendment either. The right to a swift or speedy trial with a jury of peers. Nope, they have a jury of liberal sycophants and Republican haters, if they can even get a fucking trial out of the Washington, D.C. government. Unbelievable. All right, Mr. Uman, I think we got some more, and it's Chin Music with a $9.99 super chat donation. And anyways, Chin Music says this: John, you nailed it. I'm tired of being excoriated for being normal. Also, the women needing Jesus was just a laugh line. Side note, my favorite little neighborhood Italian place is closing because of Bidenomics. It's closing. It's closing. Also, the women needing Jesus they do. It's funny. I did read today that liberal women, or no. What did I read? It's someone who had a dating website said that women do not want beta cuck males. In other words, Kamala supporters, Democrats. But who are the single women out there? Who are they? Fucking Democrat women. Hooking up with Republican men because they're moral, decent, and honest, and normal. Right? These liberal men out there taking as much soy as they can so their balls shrink and fall off so they can be Kamala supporters. I'm tired of being excoriated. I'm tired of being shit on by mainstream media, Hollywood, Washington, D.C. for being normal. It fucking sucks, right? I'm tired of it. They want to normalize pedophilia. They want to normalize self-mutilation. They want to normalize illegals raping, robbing, pillaging, killing, stealing, etc. They want that normalized. That's not normal. That's not civilized. It's certainly not American. The land of the free and the home of the brave, it's supposed to be law and order, truth and justice. But here we are. No law being applied unless you're a Republican. No justice unless you're a Democrat. Crazy business. Chin, thank you, sir. And I'll be sending you an email after the show. Man, what do we got next? Who's up? And it's David D back with a 556 super chat donation. And he says, trade skills founded this nation. No longer valued. We need skilled people. Yeah, trade skills. Farming. Making food. Building. That's our infrastructure. From roads to tunnels to bridges to train tracks. Building takes skills. Fucking roads don't make themselves. It requires a great deal of science, raw materials, intelligent people, and even technology. But houses, right? House building, construction, manufacturing, mining, right? In other words, American-made goods, American-made labor, American-made skill, American-made technology would make America great again. And trust me, it'll be a lot more expensive. You and I, all of America, Democrats and Republicans, we share one thing in common. I'll tell you, this is probably the only fucking thing we have in common. We have all enjoyed living better at the expense of cheap Chinese labor in factories and mines. Because cheap Chinese labor, a lot of it's slave labor and child labor, mandatory slave labor, prison labor. They produce cheap goods and services, or cheap goods. They come back to America and we all live better because of it. If it wasn't for China, we'd be paying a lot more for items. And I'll tell you what, all of a sudden, let me ask you this. If your television didn't cost $1,000, but it cost $10,000, would you call that inflation? If your TV was made in America, you might call it inflation, but you might call it, oops, we just noticed the exploitation of cheap child and slave labor in China. American companies like, well, Nike, television companies, right? TV appliance companies with cool American names, they're benefiting and profiting off of child, slave, and prison labor. And you and I are benefiting from it because it's cheap. So that is a way to hide inflation. And they've been hiding inflation starting about 30 years ago and continuing through today with more and more and more Chinese goods. So as the dollar has gone down in value, the cost of labor in China is kept down the appearance of inflation. Look out, folks. Look out if China says, guess what? We're not selling you anything anymore. Fuck you, America. Russia, China, Brazil, India, South Africa, Saudi Arabia, and another 24 countries have formed a political economic union. And they don't use the dollar. They don't want the dollar because if they have dollars, then the United States government can freeze their account the way they did Russia and other countries and steal their money. Look out, folks. We've got hard times coming based on decisions made by the Kamala Harris with Joe Biden as the president, that administration. They've sealed the deal on the BRICS union. What a shit show. When you abuse your power, people reject you. Other nations don't have to do what the United States government in Washington, D.C. says. They don't have to do it. So this sanctioning power, it's done. Trump is going to try and stop that. I understand it. He's not going to have any luck. The damage has been done. Russia had hundreds of billions of dollars stolen. China, they don't have much for the U.S. either. In fact, I expect before the election, and this is a John prediction on the Prepared Mind channel, everyone take note, that China is going to invade Taiwan before Trump is elected, because if Trump is president, he would stop it. But I'm sure China can make a minor contribution to the Biden campaign, which isn't alive anymore, and they could make contributions to Kamala Harris because, you know, she's a hoe and she's a prostitute and she'll sell the country out. I am certain, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that that can happen. All right, let's continue. We've got just a few super chats. We're past the 2-hour mark. And we got Dan Erickson with a $2 super chat. And he says, yep, we don't have it. He doesn't have an AK. His Colt M4 semi is the sheet. I'll tell you what, dude, I'm a big AR, AK, M16 proponent. The Stoner model has been improved year after year, or you could say generation after generation. The M4 feed ramps, chromoly line barrels and receiver, right? Or chamber, everything. It's a great weapon. Great weapon. Okay, let's continue. Thank you, Dan. Moving along, we got Shelly Chavers. She's back with a $20 super chat donation. And she asked this question. Do you think after the next presidential election, regardless of the outcome, that civil war will take place? The answer is no. I don't think that civil war will take place guaranteed. I think it's a possibility. What I do really believe, almost to the point of where I'll guarantee it, there's going to be massive social unrest and partisan conflict. But I won't call it a civil war. I won't call it a civil war. I think the potential for civil war would happen. I think it's greater if Trump wins and the Democrats in the Pentagon and the Democrats in Congress and the Democrats in the White House say that they're not going to give Trump the keys to the White House if he wins. I think they will start a civil war to maintain control of the U.S. government in Washington, D.C. I think the Democrats are far more dangerous, far more violent, far more radical, far less American. They don't care about the Constitution, Shelley. They hate the Constitution. They only use it as a punchline at their jokes. They only use the Constitution to protect themselves when it suits them. Otherwise, they use it to start fires in their fireplace. They use it for toilet paper. I have zero respect for any of them in Washington, D.C. and the Pentagon if they're Democrats, because that tells me they aren't true Americans. They're Democrats. They're communists. They're socialist supporters. They're fascists. Thank you, Shelley. Who's up next, Mr. Ooman? Just a couple more questions unless more show up. Who's up next? It's Davey D with a 357, one of my favorite calibers, super chat. And he says, spiritual. Definitely find reality. Going off the grid, I think, is what he's referring to. You will find reality. You'll discover it. And it's reality is spiritual in nature, in my opinion. Right? You get in touch with your senses, who you are on the inside, and the world around you. Again, I was down in a very tropical, jungle-like environment. Pretty crazy stuff, but I used to go hiking up in the mountains, up in the high desert. I've been now in the swamps and jungles of Florida and the South, the estuaries, the rivers. It's to be found everywhere when you're away from power and people and you're out and it's silent, quiet, definitely spiritual, and you learn and you understand. It's up to me. And there's no government here to protect me. There's no government here to provide me shit. Period. When I went to the RMZ out in the jungle, Davey, the government there said, if you're coming here, you will be quarantined. You will not come out into public. You're stuck. You can't change your mind. You're not coming back out of the jungle. And it was interesting. It really was. And it's still, I find it absolutely incredible that at this location in the jungle, far away from everywhere, thousands of miles from the United States of America, you know, the continental United States of America, thousands of miles. And I was able to live stream with you guys. That was incredible. Thank you, Davey D. Bam, pow. Who's next? Man. Who is next? Oh, wait a minute. I think that's it. But wait, there's more. There's more. You know that according to the mainstream media, liberal media, Kamala's media, that, well, animals being eaten and animal sacrifices don't exist. But somehow the federal government and the New York City government have announced plans to crack down on these animal sacrifices and eating of cats and dogs. Folks, these foreigners, they're not to be trusted. Doesn't matter what country or where they're from, whether they're voodoo Haitians or gangs out of Central and South America or terrorist tools coming from the Middle East and Northern Africa. None of them are to be trusted. None of them are moral, and they are not candidates to be Americans. They just aren't. So I tell you what, chance favors the prepared mind. Is yours. Thank you for coming. This Sunday Night Live, thank you. And folks, I'm going to continue to maintain my spiritual beliefs from my heart and my head and pray that America finds its way back to celebrating freedom, valuing our liberties, and demanding the government obey the Constitution. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 0 Dark 30.
Screw your freedom.